going on? Why you got all the energy?
We're live.
Package
4 hours.
Yeah.
He wanted to make it the whole 4 hours.
Okay, good evening and welcome to Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle. I'm Stacey Johnson. Joining me tonight is our own Aguna, the Nigerian moderate Republican. Keith, the constitutional conservative. Stephen, the independent thinker. Look at that hair.
What happened to this clock? What happened to the clock?
And my cousin, Todd.
Oh, you got the ass guy. Is that an ass guy?
It was only
No,
right.
man.
It was only right twice a day, like some people on this show.
All right, we got a lot going on tonight.
This is a scarf, by the way. It's a scarf.
Why is it
For
so
winter
short?
time.
It's like you took a handkerchief and just wrapped
Oh
it
my
around your neck.
gosh.
I don't know.
Do you
I
want
think
me
it
to
looks pretty
show you?
good.
I'll show you.
What type of knot? What type of knot
Hey,
is
get
that?
closer. You got to get a little bit closer. You're too far away.
A double Todd Windsor knot.
Yeah, that's pretty
Hey,
cool.
dum-dum.
Yeah, but look at the colors. The colors really match everything you're doing, man. It's pretty good.
And
I'll tell you, you cannot put him down with the way that this man dresses. You can't say a lot about him, but not the way he dresses. He got
thank
style. Good style. Very kudos.
I
Thank
think
you.
he's
On with the
blushing.
show.
Tonight,
He's blushing.
excuse me, the
On with the
Supreme
show.
Court agrees to weigh in on former President Trump's criminal immunity in a historic case. NASCAR with Steven, he'll tell us what's going on. I don't know who's doing. I hear a bunch of sound. NASCAR with Steven.
Sounds like Aguna's counting his money.
We'll see what's going on in the racetrack. A possible government shutdown is looming. Mitch McConnell announces he was stepping down from his leadership position. Okay, stop. You guys, I don't know what you're doing, but I hear a lot of talking. A lot of movement. Hunter Biden testified again today, and he said, what about former President Trump's son-in-law? And what did Michigan presidential primary say about where Biden and Trump stand in a general election if it were to take place in Michigan? And Duke's Kyle Filipowski says he believes a hit from court storming was intentional. Schools in the state of Washington are required to recite the Pledge of Allegiance daily, and a new bill would make sure students actually understand what it means to make the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll have our constitutional conservative Keith talk about that. Senator Schumer visited Ukraine just a week ago as pressure mounts for United States support of that war. Will Israel agree to a ceasefire? And former President Trump suggests his mugshot and indictments are appealing to Black voters as Black leaders and the Democratic National Convention blast him for racist comments during Black History Month. What is your NBA team doing? And more. First up, if it's NASCAR season, it's Steven. Steven, what's going on with NASCAR Daytona?
Well, we had Daytona last week, and it was a good race. It was a really good Daytona race. It was really great, and you expect it, you wait for it. It is a Super Bowl for the year. And then the next week's race was Atlanta, and I'm thinking it's not going to be so great. And all these cars are so similar. The only thing they can do different with this car is to work on the seat that fits the driver. That's all they can do. Everything else is just come straight from the manufacturers, from the Toyota, Chevy, and Ford. And all they can do is get a seat that fits them. So it's like, how's the competition? Well, I was talking to my son, and I told him the real competition is in the driver. Now it's all about the driver. It's not about the car at all. It's not about doing something that other people aren't doing. It's all about the driver. So that makes the entire difference now. So it doesn't matter if you have the best equipment or not, because everybody's the same, and it comes down to driver skill. And this Atlanta race, to tell you how I felt about it, I was like, let's go to the gym. Let's get a little something to eat. And then I might miss a few laps, whatever. I missed about 50, 60 laps, whatever. But then I got to watch it when I got home. This is one of the best races I've ever seen in my life. The competition throughout the entire time was unbelievable. It was amazing. And at the end of the race, it was a three-way tie that was separated by about 0.00006. That's how close this race was. All three of them were coming along, and that's how the racing was the whole time. It was super competitive. It was really good. It's gotten me enthusiastic because I wasn't until then. I mean, I love Daytona. Was good. Knew what Daytona was. Wasn't really big on racing. Didn't watch, like the smaller races. But now it's we're going now. So I'm really looking forward. This week is Las Vegas. Love to be out there. Planning a trip probably next year to go watch the race there. And Nas, the next time they come to Atlanta, if he's here, if you can get the word to him, he really needs to go. He needs to stop being nervous. Everybody loves everybody. They go to the race and everybody's happy. Just go to the race and see it for yourself. This is really amazing. It's a lot of fun. So I'd recommend it if it's anywhere near you to check it out. And I'm seriously, it's just overly exuberant probably, but I'm really excited about racing this year, Stacey, and I'm relieved. Oh, and Kyle Busch, he's in the lead right now. But you know who's in fourth place is Darrell Bubba Wallace. He's in fourth place, and that's amazing. These are two tracks that are kind of favorable to him, but it's still amazing for him to be doing this well this soon. And if he keeps his head down, he keeps racing like he can, he shows people that it is the driver, it's not the car, it's not whoever's money, it's not whoever has the most money. This is about the driver. And if everybody can stay like this, it's going to be super competitive. There's 20 drivers that can win the championship this year.
All right.
Maybe
thank you.
15.
All right. Thank you. Aguna and the NBA. We know that Doc Rivers is now in, where is he with that team in the green with the Bucks, Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah,
His first month with Giannis and Dame and Ben Simmons. What's going on?
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're doing as well as they thought they would, but they're still, I think they're the 2 seed or the 2 or the 3 seed, right behind Boston. Yeah, I mean, Doc Rivers, he's going to make his move in the playoffs. I feel still a great coach, but again, they were for a team to fire a coach with a winning record the way that the Milwaukee Bucks did. You can't take for granted the high expectations associated with that. So we'll see what happens. Again, we got a good month and a half left of the regular season in the NBA before the playoffs start. Then we got like a month and a half of playoffs. So, there's still a lot of, games to be played. But, yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm kind of depressed.
So what's going on with the Sixers? Why are you depressed about the Sixers?
Yeah, Embiid is out. And
so that means that's the end of the whole team. See, and that's the problem. You can't have one player determining the outcome for an entire NBA team.
When they had Michael Jordan,
the best player in the league. I mean,
yeah. When they had Michael Jordan, if he went out, Chicago would have lost.
Pretty much. I mean, that's the reason why we're 3 of our last 10. We only have won 3 of the last 10 games.
Yeah.
We're about 13 games back behind Boston. And I think, if things keep going the way they're going, we won't even be in playoff contention. I don't think we'll be as bad as like the Bulls and some of the bottom, seeded teams.
The bottom feeders.
I don't want to. I'd rather stay kind of where we are right now. I don't want to. I think when Embiid comes back, we'll match up well against the Heat, the Cavs, or any of those teams, the Knicks, anybody that's kind of ahead of us. So we can just kind of keep, we can win even 5 or 6 games, and then before he comes back, I think we may be a little bit better positioned than if we win. Then we lose a bunch of 10 games, and then we end up have to go up against the Milwaukee or the Celtics. Even though we gave the Celtics a little run for their money the other night, it just doesn't look bad. I mean, without Embiid, they're a whole different team. That's clear.
So before we move on to college basketball, where is Ime Udoka? Where is he coaching now? Where is he?
I don't know. Is he even coaching?
I think he is.
Is he in
Yeah.
Oklahoma or something? I forgot.
He is. He's coaching for the Dodgers.
Yeah, Todd. There you go. Yeah. Yep. You
So
can clearly see that
he's
ascot is
coaching the Houston Rockets, but we haven't heard. He's been pretty quiet. We haven't heard much from him. He's head coach of the Houston Rockets. Remember when he got into it with LeBron, and we were talking about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
never stays out of the headlines, right? So we'll see.
All right, let's move on to NCAA college men's Division I basketball. Duke won a game last week, and the crowd stormed, the fans stormed the court. He got hurt, but he says he thinks it was intentional. What can we do about fans storming the court in college sports? Because we don't see this too much in professional sports, right?
I don't think so. I don't know. Usually people don't get hurt. That's what the problem was. Somebody got hurt, and you can't stop people. The only way you can stop people from storming the court in basketball is don't let them in. Don't let them in the building.
So I don't really see many people storming the courts for like when the Sixers or when Boston plays or when the Bucks play. I don't see anybody storming the courts then.
But I guess it depends on. I guess it depends on the weight of the game. If it's a really weighted game, that people are going to storm. If they're really crazy happy, they're going to storm.
Yeah, I mean, there's different etiquette to different games, right? So, is there a hat trick in hockey? People throw their hats on the court, all that type of stuff. But the bottom line of it is, I wouldn't. In NBA games, it's just not that type of crowd, right? They're not a bunch of college students. If you're close to the court, you're paying a lot of money. So more than likely, the people that are close to the court side, aren't the type of people that will run on the court. But even if you look at how the arenas are situated, it's kind of hard to get down there and do all that. And then the security's out of control. College security and NBA pro security are a little bit different.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just a different vibe, different etiquette.
Oh, sure.
So let me share my screen, and for informational purposes only, I'm going to show you Duke's Kyle Filipowski says that court storming hit was intentional.
What?
By his own fans?
Is that what he's saying? Or then maybe it was somebody who wasn't a fan. It would have to be, right?
Wake Forest 83-79 upset over number 8 Duke. Demon Deacon fans stormed the court in celebration. Duke's Kyle Filipowski was hit in the chaos of the moment and had to be helped off the court and into the locker room. After the game, Duke coach John Shire revealed that Filipowski sprained his ankle and called for court storming to be banned. Filipowski believes the Wake Forest fans intentionally collided with him, saying there's no excuse for that.
Okay.
Get out of the way.
So your comments.
That's gamesmanship. That's just gamesmanship.
Well, I don't know. I mean, that is kind of dangerous, but I mean, players got to get out of there. They got to protect the players too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah. My son had a basketball game tonight. I didn't storm the court. They didn't win either. So but some of the kids ran out there on the court. Right, some of the other kids that were watching, they ran out there after the game and stuff. They just got to protect the players, and also players have to be aware as well. You got to protect. You got to kind of, if it's a tense situation and it's a tense, game, you need to kind of try to get out of there. And
he probably couldn't get out of there quick enough, but he probably couldn't get out of there quick enough. You know what I mean? They win the game.
He's a big guy. He needs to be able to move.
And here comes the fans.
But do you think it's possible that they tried to hurt him? Do y'all think it's possible they tried to hurt him?
They probably were like, "Get the hell out of here, loser," kind of thing. The college kids, they're probably,
it's just mean. Yeah, they're just mean.
Yeah, I would say it probably was intentional.
Yeah, they were trying to inflict pain, but not nothing permanent.
They're probably trying to just, not get a cheap shot in to hurt somebody, but just try to, make them feel.
So
Try to get a
now
little
his
bit of a
ankle
cheap
is
shot, not hurt
sprained.
somebody. They were trying to get
So
a
his-
cheap shot.
So his
Just
ankle
like when
is
he went after
sprained.
Cam Newton. When he went after Cam Newton over the weekend, they were just trying to get in cheap shots. Sorry about that, Stacey. I know that was your man.
I didn't hear about them
crazy.
going after Cam Newton. What happened?
Oh, he got beat up. It's a 7-on-7 camp for kids, and everybody just turned on him, and he got beat, but he held his own.
Well, so here's the thing: he got jumped by these other coaches or something like that. It was 4-on-1, and he still was slinging them around like they were ragdoll.
Yeah.
I mean, Cam Newton is a big guy. I mean, so
why would they do that?
They got in
I
don't
know.
They got in one good punch, and then the rest was all Cam. He was juggling 3 dudes like.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's nobody to mess with. Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can.
Hat. He had on a hat like Todd would wear or something like that.
Like this. He was wearing a hat like that. He's a trip. He's one of the best characters to ever be in football. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he held his own, but yeah.
Yeah, he's tough, man.
All right, so let me see if I can share my screen and you guys can see this because I didn't know about that. I'm not into sensationalism. I'm into like real sports.
There's a butt coming. But
she loves this stuff.
No, but he mentioned it, so I had to.
Yeah, but it's relevant because this is your guy. This is your quarterback you talked about for so many years that you love so much.
That's true.
They're all on
What did he do? Kiss their women?
I don't know. That was crazy.
Competitive. It was a competitive game for $5,000. Hey, look, Steven, that looks like you.
Where? The good-looking one?
That was another fight,
man.
but that's crazy. So he was what was he doing? He was out there. What was he doing?
He was coaching a 7v7 team. I think this is a tournament in Atlanta.
It's to help. It's to give back. He's trying to give back to the community.
Yeah, 7v7 is like flag football. It's like 2-hand touch, right?
Okay.
It's a 2-hand touch, like flag football, no contact, but mostly passing, type of competition. So yeah, it's a fun sport to watch.
I wonder why they would go after him like that.
We don't know that.
Dispute. I think they had some words exchanged, and somebody got cursed out or whatever, and then
that looked like a drug deal went wrong. That's what that looked like.
Oh man, whatever.
It looked crazy.
What do you imply?
Tell me what the excuse.
Why do you? Why, Stephen? Why?
Tell me what the excuse was that all these guys would jump him. Tell me why. You give me an explanation. I have none. I'm just spitting. Maybe he owed them some money. Maybe he loaned them money and then they didn't give it back, or vice versa. I don't know.
It was.
I don't know.
It was at a NASCAR.
Unruly thugs. They don't need.
They don't act like that at NASCAR. You're not gonna see anything like that at NASCAR.
There's fights at NASCAR. You won't see any Confederate flags either, will you?
Welcome to Sporlitiks, for sports and politics, mix and mingle. The good Reverend Doctor just came on the show. Do you want to say what was going on with Cam Newton down in the ATL?
Good evening. Nice to greet y'all. I see we got a lot of people here. It appears we have a possum on the stage as well. But I just say this. There's a weird energy about football, especially when it comes to 7-on-7. Like the trainers, they get really competitive. They get really angry about stuff. And then, of course, these are past aggressions where somebody doesn't like another person. And, one day you tell a guy you're going to beat him up, and then you realize, hey, man, he about 6'5", 250. Might not be such a good idea.
And he lifts weights, and he fights up against big guys that are twice his size.
Yeah, I mean, you saw a NASCAR driver What about that guy that ran after that other guy's car? We saw a bunch of that. You know, he threw a helmet at a car. There was all kind of stuff going on in NASCAR. What are you talking about?
I think this is a little bit different.
I believe you just
stug
changed
drivers
the topic.
throwing helmets.
I think this is a little bit different. In NASCAR, four people do not jump one person. In NASCAR, four people don't jump one person.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that makes it right. Good job, Steven.
I
Thank
believe y'all just stepped on the joke talking about NASCAR, which nobody cares about. But the other part I was going to tell Stacy was, she said he lifts weights. But you got to add the other part. He lifts weights listening to gospel music. Do you understand what kind of man that is? Do not fight anybody who lifts weights and listens to gospel music while they doing it. That is a man you don't want no trouble with. So, yeah, 3 guys, they ran up on Cam. He grabs one, puts him in a headlock. He tosses the other one by his dreadlocks in his book bag. And then the last one who was punching him and clearly wasn't hurting him because the man was smiling. So, yeah, man, be careful who you run up on in these streets, man. Pick somebody else. Usually you should pick a corner or wide receiver. Don't pick a guy that big.
Yeah, Cam was pretty big.
You
And
know,
let me just add.
these were thugs. That's all they were. Thugs.
Right. Yeah. Let me just say
Anything
that.
to insult a black guy. Good job, Keith.
That's right. They insult themselves by the way they act.
That was some brutal thuggery right there. Keith is not lying.
Yeah,
know
You
what
just call it like you see it. Just
that's
balls
right.
and strikes, Keith. Balls and strikes, man.
That's
I
my
didn't
I know,
know y'all grew up such sheltered young men. That's just a regular fight. The only
I
problem
know there's
was,
no fights in
Four,
football.
well,
There's
three or 4 on 1 is not a regular fight.
That's thuggery.
no.
3 or
you
4 on
missed-
1 is not a
You
regular
guys are
fight.
showing yourselves.
No,
You
you're
guys are
missing the
showing
point.
yourselves. You're
When
embarrassing yourselves.
you
Stop.
are really good friends with somebody and you know they're going to fight this other person, when it's not going so well, do you want to ride around later with that person or be in a group text and they say, man, dang, y'all ain't even helped me, or were y'all scared or whatever? No, so they wanted to jump in and say, man, we're not going to let our boy get beat up like this. And unfortunately, all of them got beat up. So, I mean, that's
But
just how
I
goes
thought it looked
sometimes.
like they all attacked him at once, didn't they? It wasn't one guy and then the next guy. They all jumped him at once,
Hold
really.
Don't see what happened before.
One guy ran up the stairs to jump into the fisticuffs, but he didn't bring his fist. He got beat badly. The other guy was standing to the right of them, and that's the one with the long dread. So he wasn't in there first either. So this clearly was a case of they bit off way more than they could chew.
Yeah. I'd like to know what the motivation was for all this. We'll probably find out a couple of days, maybe.
It's a competition. What else? What are we even talking
I mean,
about?
is that what you've heard? I mean, is that the official statement? Is what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter. Who cares?
I'm saying if they have an official statement or something comes out, and they have different.
Yes,
whatever.
They have an official
Shoving match
statement
on the
you can
sideline in
read
football.
from the
Does
other
that
707.
release an official statement?
Right. But the thing is, they had to release an official statement because they're working with kids. These are all groups who are working with kids. 707 football, and you're gonna have some beefs in between that. But either way,
parents
all
do
of
the
the
same
adults
thing
have
at
apologized.
soccer games. This is
It's really bizarre. It's bizarre that a superstar like Cam can be somewhere and these bums try to beat him up. It's just really bizarre, and it's unusual.
Be careful.
This is unusual. This doesn't happen much.
No, I would say it does. Well, here's
No,
the
I'd say they
reason
were
why.
bums. Because Cam's out there trying to help people. He's trying to do something good, and these people jumping. Then they're acting like. And you know what? Professionals don't act like that, or people generally don't act like this. This is not cool behavior, man. I don't justify what they.
I've seen
the reason anybody's jumping. No, you just don't mess with Cam. Cam should be able to go somewhere and represent the NFL. Try to be a good guy. Try to get his soul straight without people trying to beat him up. Those people are thugs.
All right, so let me play it again now that we have the good Reverend Doctor on. All right, watch this. Please don't talk, just watch. That Cam is big.
when you try to fight a man and his Mr. Peanut hat doesn't fall off. This is not
Wow.
the computer film. I don't know how many times we need to run it, but when you try to fight a man and his Mr. Peanut hat does not fall off, you have failed. One of the weirdest, greatest athletes ever. But hold on before you say that, Count Chocula. Now, the other part is these other guys who run the other teams, they're former college athletes as well. That's why they're trained. Like the main guy with the dreads, he's a trainer for defensive backs. So these are other people who reach out to their community and participate as well. This is just, an old beef and trash talk that went too far, and it's over. It was a fight.
Well, it sounds like to me you were out there with him, the good Reverend Doctor.
I'm kind of nosy when it comes to situations like this because, see, people on this line, I don't know if y'all know this, but Cam Newton is one of the funniest men on earth, not on purpose. I want y'all to look up Cam Newton quotes tonight, and you will find out that Cam Newton has ruined every analogy, every simile you can think of in ways that you could never predict. He is always like, just go look up Cam Newton quotes, and you'll get an idea of what I'm talking about. He's a very funny person, not on purpose.
All right, thank you. Let's move on. Black history.
Stacey, say one more thing. One more thing from a professional standpoint. I think it's very dangerous to be in that situation if a police officer, I guess that was a cop, or security or something, and he had some kind of, it looked like he had a gun. That's a dangerous situation for him. Somebody could definitely take his gun. I tell you, I wouldn't want to be in it. I just let them settle it themselves. But anyway, that's a very.
You think at a youth football camp somebody's gonna take a cop's gun from him?
Hey, you don't know these people today, man. I don't trust them. I don't trust any of these thugs.
So you say that the cop shouldn't do his job?
The cop should not do a job by himself. He called for backup and wait for backup. You don't jump in the middle of a massive.
Clearly that officer, who's trained, by the way, unlike you, could read the room and knew that there wasn't a threat. It was just a scuffle. They broke it up. Well, clearly not. If you think an officer of the law should recuse himself from a situation he's supposed to be in and intervene, then clearly you're not trained that well.
Well, have you ever considered the fact that seven illegal aliens jumped on a dude?
Here you go. And
yeah,
And
everybody
again, we've negated that story. We've already talked about that.
Right.
So you want to deflect.
Black History Month.
You want to deflect.
Let's move on.
Good job, Chief. Way to address the situation.
Cops are being attacked.
Deflect.
Because they're not allowed.
You got a job to do.
Cops are being attacked because they're not allowed to shoot.
They got a job to do.
Cops have killed more citizens this year than they have in any other year.
You haven't been paying attention to the news, but go ahead, Stacey.
All right,
no,
Black
the problem
History
is
Month.
Your point is negated.
Promise you don't read.
Try again.
Black History Month. Okay, thank you. Black History Month, Cousin Todd. We were going to start with you. Aguna, you want to start with? Okay, here's Cousin Todd. Yay, Black History Month, Cousin Todd.
Here we go.
I got bored with that nonsense. And when I was trying to, and I know you're not the moderator, but when I was trying to get in, you never said, okay, calm down, everybody.
I did,
okay.
But you just want to attack me,
That's
but
okay.
You don't want to attack Keith or Stephen or the good Reverend Doctor or Aguna. You just want to attack me. But go ahead with your Black History Month.
I want to talk about Simone Biles for Black History Month. She is an out-and-out winner. Now, we don't know her background.
Can't talk all day.
We don't know her background, what she's been through, but she's been through a lot. You know, when that serial rapist was going around, she was affected by that. He attacked her as well. And but she persevered and moved through that, which that ain't easy. So anyway, I just wanted to shine a light on her and how well she's done in her career. And she's had some mental health challenges, but she was smart enough to not
Take a break.
compete. Right. And though you had idiots saying, well, she shouldn't be there, and all those
And
kinds
who are
of
you
things.
referring to, Cousin
I
Todd?
don't, whoever said anything as idiotic as that. And so.
And who would that be on this show?
I don't know. Just look around.
Cat got your tongue.
No.
Memory loss. Short-term memory.
The Reverend.
Anyway,
nobody said
Simone
anything.
Biles, she was
Nobody said anything.
as opposed to talking about somebody in the past, I wanted to focus on her and her achievements and how well she's doing.
Thank you.
And
Anyone
she's an
else
icon.
on Black History? Thank you. Anyone else on Black History Month?
Yeah, I got something.
Oh Lord.
After the Black people. Go ahead.
I'm going to give a shout out to my school and HBCU, South Carolina State, and all HBCUs, and what role the HBCU played in Black history and creating a lot of the leaders, educators, inventors, entrepreneurs that we seen in the Black community. Because again, HBCUs were designed to foster that education when we couldn't necessarily go to the PWIs, right? So we had to have institutions developed and in order to impact and to, keep our communities vibrant. So always good to reflect on the history of HBCUs during Black History Month and the role they played. So shout out to that.
Thank you.
Starting with South Carolina State.
All right. I want to apologize to Stephen for Todd. No, I'm going to apologize for allowing Todd to say that Stephen goes after Black people. That was really racist.
I'm fine with that.
Oh my
I'm fine
gosh.
with that because if somebody's got these, because it is Black History Month. I will go to the back of the bus because it is Black History Month.
I said that.
No one should do that. If someone did that to Todd.
No, just for this one show, I'll go to the back of the bus.
If somebody did that to Todd,
there you go.
If somebody did that to Todd, excuse me, if someone did that to Todd, he would call that person everything but a child of God.
Anyway, like I was saying, I only said that.
Well, Stephen's my friend.
Shut up. I only said that because shut up, Aguna. Aguna is just like Stephen. He's just like in the days. He just blurts it. Listen, pay attention here. I said that because last week, Stephen said he doesn't think we should discuss Black History Month.
He didn't say that.
Oh.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
no,
did.
I didn't. I said that Black history is intertwined with white history, and we don't need a month for Black people because all of our history in America is intertwined.
Right.
And people say shut up because they don't want that. Because, they don't want that. They don't want unity. They don't want people getting along. Shut up, dumbass. They don't want that.
And so, Stacy, please don't placate that. You look just as stupid as he does. Now,
I'm not going to look as dumb as you by saying
Todd is
the back of the bus, Cousin Todd, because he's not African American talking during Black History Month. Go ahead, Stephen.
We weren't taught anything about Black history. That's the reason why we had, as Nas pointed out, Black History Week, which turned into a month. So we weren't being taught anything about ourselves. People who look like you, Stacy. We weren't being taught anything about those kinds of people.
Go ahead, laugh again.
Stephen knows that.
Go ahead, Stephen.
There was a very, 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 very proud woman who happened to be Black, and she was very successful, and she had everything going well for her in this country. And that was years ago. And she was part of a product since 1889. And her family, and for lineage, her family that came later, they were your white liberals that you people worship. They did away with a Black woman. They canceled a Black woman. They wanted to eat their pancakes without having to look at her Black face.
Good job.
That's what they did. And you know who else they canceled? Uncle Ben. What the hell did Uncle Ben ever do to anybody? Look at his face. You seen a nicer face ever? They canceled him, and they canceled his family, and they said we can't have black people on things anymore because it makes us sick as white liberals. Well, us white liberals that you worship, that you take your marching orders from, tell you that you can't have this no more. You can't have it no more. It's not for you no more. You can't have a black woman on anything. We got to have white babies on the laundry detergent. We got to have white people on this. You can't have black. And you people support it. That's how stupid you are, Todd. And you call us
Blame
stupid?
Stacey for
That's
that.
how stupid you
can
are.
blame that
You
on
support
Stacey.
this garbage.
She couldn't wait until
Y'all
Donald Trump
support
opened
it.
his
You
mouth.
want to talk about Black History Month?
She set
You
you
spit on
up.
every black person like
All
this
right,
that
are
came
you done?
before you because
Okay,
you
thank you.
kissed
So
the
they
ass
came
of the
before
white
me.
liberal.
That's what you think
You
black people
kissed
are
the
about?
ass of the white liberal.
Yep.
That's
Okay,
what you
thank
think
you.
black people are, Uncle
That was
Ben
very
and
good
Aunt
presentation.
Jemima. Of
Cousin
all
Yeah.
the
Steve
black
tried to
people,
warn you. He tried to
Excellent,
warn you.
Stephen.
Oh,
this passive
Stacey knew he was going to do
aggressive
that.
white
That
She
was
supremacist,
wanted that.
I love it.
passive aggressive white supremacist on the
That
show.
was
No, I
showing
didn't.
his true colors.
That
How would I?
was excellent. That
I mean,
was
that's amazing. Thank you, Stacey. You made
I
Black
love it.
History Month
I love it.
memorable. This has been the most
What
memorable.
a great
I mean,
presentation.
if it would have
What a
been just 2 more
truthful,
days, you could have
factual
let him. He couldn't
presentation.
wait 2 more days. He had
That
to go
was
on
nice.
a racist rant at the
That was
last
nice.
2 days of Black History Month, and you
He
justified
pointed out
that
the
just
truth.
now.
And
He
you
said
did
that
not like
he
it.
wants us to be thankful for Aunt
He
Jemima
pointed
and
out
Uncle
the
Ben,
truth.
the people that came before us.
He
You
told
know?
the truth.
And look at this Stephen Fletcher over here.
He
He's just ready to serve biscuits.
He
You know what I'm
told
saying?
the
You
truth.
shucking and jiving.
He
Go on.
Truth.
You just want to
He
say.
told the truth.
So what did
And
he?
you
What did he
didn't like
just
it.
say? What did he say?
Back
Keith?
at home. He told the
What did he
truth.
say? What did he say?
Okay,
He
thank
said
you.
you
We're
Ben,
gonna
liked
move
what did
on.
he say,
it.
Uncle
They
Ben?
took that off of the cereal boxes, and you liked it, and you guys accepted it. You
Okay, we're
said
gonna
that
move
So
on.
was
what?
expensive.
Who cares?
Yes. Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
So all the
Yeah.
things.
I
So
know you
all
don't
the
care.
things that we need
I
to
know.
reflect on during Black History Month. We need to be ashamed of the fact that images and stereotypes that used to be
No.
on products, that
No.
glorified our servitude, the fact that those were
No.
removed, we need to reflect on that and feel bad about ourselves
Glorified your
during the
servitude.
only month that they
You a
dedicate
servant
for our
because you
history.
cook?
We should be back. We should feel guilty about celebrating
Are you a
anything
servant
else
because you
but
cook?
that.
Are you a
That's what
servant
you're
because
saying?
you cook? Are you a servant because you cook?
What were those people on the box?
So
Yeah,
what?
may all my enemies be as dumb as
Are
you.
you a servant?
I want our listeners. I wish our
That's what I want for the world.
listeners look at
So-
this. Look at this guy over here
Yeah,
trying
look
to
at him,
justify what this passive
Listen to them,
aggressive
listeners.
racist just said.
Yeah,
Listen
look
to-
at him.
Listen to him defending that.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
because you think.
Look at
See,
them.
the funny thing is, you think
They were
that
famous.
somehow we're
They were on a
insulted.
box of cereal.
You think we're
They have
somehow
athletes on
insulted
the
by
box
that.
of cereal today.
We're not insulted
You take
because
them
we
off?
know this is who you
How
are.
about that?
We
They
know
have
you.
black
This is who
athletes
you
on the
are.
box of cereals.
You're
Well,
embarrassing yourself.
You're on a box of cereal. We
A
don't
box
complain
of
about
cereal.
that.
You're
eating.
embarrassing yourself.
So
What
you would
just
take it off?
happened, we
Well,
don't
can I-
care because
Well,
this is
I mean,
just
if you're
showing
can
gonna
I
take
get
them
my
off,
turn
who you are.
in?
you might as
so
well
we can
take
move
all
on?
of the black
Okay,
faces
we got
off
you.
of
We got you.
Okay.
Stacey
Go ahead,
won't
the good
control
Reverend
anything.
Doctor.
What
Yeah,
did I
just
miss?
Nothing.
Go ahead, the good Reverend Doctor.
Yeah, just to get my turn in real quick. Ultimately, when people talk about things like, well, you should blend everything together and everything should be one, when in reality, what you're doing is erasure. If you're talking to someone about the Holocaust, you don't say, well, there have been other great atrocities that have happened to other people. No, you talk about that specific thing. You don't try to erase people or blend people in to like, dude, like, stop it. Like, you're using Aunt Jemima as a prop. Like, you should be embarrassed.
No,
but
I'm
you're not
erasing
smart
her.
enough.
I'm erasing
You're
her
not-
face.
you're not
I'm
smart
erasing
enough
her.
to
You're talking about
understand how
erasing.
offensive that is.
Stacey can't
So
shut
just-
him up.
Just to finish
She's in a
very
daze.
quickly, just to finish very quickly, just think about it. So the board at Panning Mills, which I'm assuming Aguna is not a part of that board, Cousin Todd's not a part of that board, I'm not a part of that board. We don't make decisions like that. You know who makes decisions like that? Conservative people who own companies of that size. And you know what they decided? During 2020, when all the tension was out here in America and companies were running for cover, trying to figure out what they could do, they held a meeting and said, hey man, we might be vulnerable on this by using this person as a mascot. maybe we should phase that out. And they did. Now, you think that affected their sales? Do you think that affected their quality
Everybody
of
look it
product
up.
put out?
Everybody look it up and see if he's
Hey,
telling the truth.
Hey,
Stephen,
Possum, be quiet.
I'm
let
saying
me
just
finish.
fact check.
You had your racist
I
rant. You had your
understand.
racist
We
rant.
see
Shut
you,
up.
Possum. You don't need attention at all times. You already look like a possum.
We can't see you. We can't see
Possum.
you. We
Well,
can't see you.
We see you, unfortunately.
Okay, excuse me. We're going to stop this. Please let him finish so people can hear.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't argue with a white man with a Jerry curl. So, finishing the point, these companies have decided, hey, this is not as important to keep on here. We could possibly offend someone, or someone could come for us later on. Somebody talking about family lineage or some other lawsuit or something like that. So the best way to protect ourselves is with what? Phase it out. So them and their lawyers did that. And nobody really cared except for the racists who in some way see themselves or see some type of affection or connection to these branded faces on boxes for some reason, which is really weird. Any Sopranos fans on here would know Uncle Ben is the one person who could bring Tony Soprano to his knees. For those who don't watch Sopranos, you won't get that joke. But anyway, it is what it is, man. Stephen, your presentation was offensive, raggedy, and racist, and that's what I expect from you.
Okay,
That's
thank
why we're
you.
not
Let me show.
surprised. We're not surprised.
Speaking of a presentation, let me show what the former President Trump said, and then we'll comment.
It's the only thing he's really been good at his entire career. You know what that is? Being a racist, because he's a racist. Biden spent years palling around with notorious segregationists.
Yep.
Donald Trump made that remark in South Carolina while making a pitch to the core of the Biden coalition, Black voters. Now, Donald Trump failed to mention a few important things there. He was the guy who played footsie with white nationalists after Charlottesville. Donald Trump was the guy who had to be asked over and over again to distance himself from David Duke, the literal grand wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. And the actual Trump sales pitch to Black voters was even simpler than that. Biden bad, Trump good.
And I'm thrilled to be here tonight with crooked Joe Biden's absolutely worst nightmare. Hundreds of proud, Black, conservative American patriots. You shouldn't be doing well because honestly, they've done a lousy job for you. They've done a lousy job for you. They've done a lousy job for everybody. But for Black Americans, they have done a very poor job. If you want strong borders, safe neighborhoods, rising wages, good jobs, great education, and the return of the American dream, then congratulations, you are a Republican. It's pretty simple.
Trump says that he's not going to take the Black vote for granted. He says under the last 4 years of his presidency, he achieved the lowest African-American unemployment rate ever recorded. But it turns out that's not true. The all-time low for Black unemployment was set by, you guessed it, Joe Biden in April of 2023 at 4.8 percentage points. And Trump also added this.
Unlike racist Joe Biden, I've spent my entire life working hand in hand with Black Americans to create jobs, build buildings, invest in our communities. I want to tell you, a Black worker is a great worker.
All right, I'm going to stop there. And let's start with Aguna. Aguna, your comments.
I mean, you didn't show the whole thing. There were some great sound bites in that thing where he couldn't see the crowd, but he could see Black, and he was saying all kind of other crazy stuff. Come on now. I mean, crazy. Well, at the end of the day, he is pitching to the cheap seats, right? Clearly authoritarianism, trying to appeal, but not having that connection, not really giving any substance around. I mean, when was the last time a Trump Tower was built in the ghetto? I mean, what type of community? Oh, I have a Black friend. The bottom line of it is, and you see this on this show, white faces trying to comment on just a month that Black people have. I mean, we can't even have a month. And I would also make this argument. You think about it, there's a privilege on this show that no one's talking about, right? Could Stephen live his life without Black people? Of course he could, But unfortunately, white people always meddle in what black people got going on. They want to listen to our music. They want to listen to they want to embrace our culture. They want to put us on cereal boxes and all this other stuff, but they don't want to give us equality or equity. So it just shows you that at the end of the day, Trump is over there trying to connect with the audience. He fails miserably. He fails miserably. The clowns in the audience were just trying to, again, kowtow to an authoritarian. I mean, you just want the bully to like you, so he won't beat up. So he'll beat up somebody else and not you.
Okay.
And if I'm wrong, just ask the people that work for him that he now hates. So what is he going to do to you?
Keith.
Yes.
Your comment on former President Trump's comments that African Americans like him because he's been indicted.
Yeah. Well, definitely, you can see that the hip hop crowd, because it's all over social media. I don't know what these guys look at, but I see it all over the place. You know, on social media, the hip hop generation, or say many rappers. Ice Cube
Keith knows a lot about hip hop.
I see. There we go.
This is the expert.
Let me finish, okay? Then you'll have your opportunity, my friend. So you know, Ice Cube came out and said, and even Snoop Dogg came out. These people came out and said that Trump was cool. They liked him, and many other rappers or many other types of blacks have come out in social media. In fact, Ice Cube said that he looked at Trump's plan. I guess he had seen his economic plan, and Trump had an economic plan for blacks, and it was actually a good thing. And he did not put it down. He wanted
that was Ice Cube's plan that he presented to
the
Trump.
Opportunity.
Please get the story right, old man.
My
that
turn.
was like 4 years ago.
My turn. Trump didn't have the opportunity to finish it, of course, but maybe he will when he comes back. He also commuted the sentences of blacks. You know, this black woman who was, you know, drug charges, and he actually got her sentence commuted. Forgot her name, but you guys know who she is, you know. And then also he refunded black colleges, which Obama had ended on certain black colleges. So
yeah, and no, Aguna knows what you're talking about, because Aguna praised him for that on the show before. He praised him. He said that was great what he did, because no president's ever done that, and that helped black people out a lot. Aguna admitted that was great what he did with what he's talking about. Don't shake your head. No, you know it's the truth. Every now and then you got to tell the truth just to stay right with Jesus, brother.
Yeah, he'll deny it now, though, Stephen. It won't matter.
You can't deny it, because you were on his side.
$250 million allocated for black colleges and universities that he knew he was never going to pay. Okay, thank you.
See, Stephen?
And Trump did. He did.
Yeah, let us know when y'all turn this over.
No, Trump did. He did it. He did a lot of good things for black people. He did a lot of good things for a lot of people. And he did a lot of things that were wrong. He did a lot of things that were wrong.
Whose turn are we on right now? Whose turn?
He did a lot of good things for black people. Sure. Why did he say that? Because he said it.
Stephen's turn. No. Go ahead, Stephen.
Yeah, he said a lot. He said a lot of things that are wrong, but I don't believe and he doesn't come off right sometimes. Sometimes, like me, he says the wrong thing. Doesn't mean to say the wrong thing, but you know he's got a good heart. No, it's not. I'm not crying about anything. That's what Donald. No, but what Donald Trump is doing, he's going against both sides. He's taken on the entire establishment. We have a chance right now. All of us have a chance right now of the establishment that we bitch about all the time. The House and the Senate. What do they have? A 10% rating with us all the time. And everything that's enveloped in it. This government, this corrupt government. We know we have one guy that can go piece by piece and hopefully get people on either side that are good people to work with him. Because right now, the side that's in the power is horrible for this country. And you have to know that. Why would you want to be on that side? Why would you want to be on the side that you know is corrupt?
Man, this ain't a sporting event.
No, you know the side is corrupt. You know one side is completely corrupt. You know one side's completely corrupt.
Stephen,
we could clean up the FBI and the CIA and the NSA. We could clean all of this up if we could win this election.
Thank you, Stephen. That's it. Now, the good Reverend Doctor.
It makes no freaking sense.
Excuse me.
It makes all the sense in the world.
Hey, did y'all two stop having your own show?
Not a sport.
And the good Reverend Doctor. And then
real
Cousin
quick,
Todd.
real quick, the HBCU funding was an option that had to be renewed. This wasn't some new bill that he was sponsoring or new funding that he was coming up with.
Right.
The same way that when Biden came in, he had to renew terms with them as well. So the next president will do the same because that funding is not locked in and guaranteed.
No, Trump did something.
And,
Trump did something that was permanent. Wait a minute. Trump did something that was permanent.
No, Stephen, no one talked while you talked. Let him talk, please.
Yeah, so that's the actual details of the bill, not these things these ridiculous people are spouting. Then Keith made the statement, well, he got that lady out of jail and that other person. No, what you're talking about is the First Step plan, which was initiated by Cory Booker, a Democrat, which is about federal prisons, which is a whole problematic issue because if you address prisons, you want to address state prisons because that's where the majority of the people who are locked up are. Federal prisons is a smaller percentage. And yes, some people did get out, but that was Trump signing a bill that Cory Booker proposed, Democrat once again. Then the next point, when they made the correction about employment, here's the problem with this. And I got a problem with the Dems and Repubs taking credit for this. After the financial crisis in 2008, and we had the recession, we had really high unemployment all throughout this country. And then we saw two administrations come in and try to act like the numbers changing was some kind of revision in American labor and American employment and everything else, when the actuality was all it was people were getting back to work. And then if you inspected that even more and seeing what kind of jobs we're talking about, minimum wage and minimum wage plus, which is, a little $2 or $3 over minimum wage. These are normal, everyday 9-to-5 jobs. Most people have to do some type of gig economy work to supply, on top of one of those jobs to really support themselves. So to present these things as if there's some, magnificent achievement, it's terrible when both parties do it, and I hate it when it's done. And
Thank
then
you,
the other
Cousin
part,
Todd.
well, lastly, let me say this, Stacey. We had a Black conservative forum, and there were no Black conservatives there. Trump was speaking to a room full of white people in that audience, and when the camera panned around, we all saw it. That went viral on social media as well. And again, don't take your hip hop expertise from somebody named Keith who hasn't listened to a record since Run DMC.
Thank you, Cousin Todd.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore, but I'm going to assume it's Donald Trump talking about Black people and how much he's done for them. He's a joke, and he could only see the Blacks in the audience, no whites. There was only two there, like Nas was just saying.
Only two what there, Cousin Todd?
Blacks. I just said, let me just finish. I just said, I'll repeat it, trick of the enemy. There were two Blacks in the audience, and he said, I can only see the Blacks, not the whites.
Why? Because the lighting was bad or something?
I don't know. Maybe they were smiling.
But was the lights off? I mean, what was the situation? Do you know?
God help me.
I don't know. I don't know the
Because
story.
Steven, you got to let him finish. He didn't interrupt you. You got to let him
Oh,
finish.
no, I'm not trying to interrupt him. I'm just asking him a question when he stopped talking.
Just go
Todd,
put a bag on your Jerry curl.
Todd, you can't talk, then stop, then talk, then stop.
Okay.
I'm just asking him a question.
Okay.
I thought we could ask questions.
Go find your pointed sheet, Stephen.
Go ahead, Cousin Todd.
I am finished.
Thank you. We're going to move right on to Hunter Biden
Lord,
today.
what am I doing here? What am I doing
no,
here?
we're going to actually stay on Trump because I want to share my statement. The Supreme Court did something today very interesting concerning former President Trump. If you look at this screen on CNN.com, Supreme Court to decide Trump immunity claim, further delaying election subversion trial. This was written today, updated at 5:54 p.m. by John Fritz. And I'm sorry, I went too fast. The Supreme Court agreed today whether to decide whether Donald Trump may claim immunity in special counsel Jack Smith's election subversion case, adding another explosive appeal from the former president to its docket and further delaying his federal trial. The court agreed to expedite the case and hear arguments the week of April 22nd. Keith, do you want to comment on that?
Such a waste of taxpayer dollars right now are going forward. And they are wasting so much of our money and trying to distract us from the elections. This is tampering with elections for them to keep these lawsuits going.
Now, I will agree with that. They should spend their money investigating Hillary Clinton and
Hey,
Benghazi.
very good, sir. I'm proud of you.
I know.
But, Trump is the one who said hands off of Hillary. I mean, he's the one that said we're not going to go after her. So,
and then he said, lock her up.
No, not in that order.
I mean, he could have done it in his time. He could have gone after her, but he didn't. So,
Right.
Anyway, he knows how to use
it. He said he's going after Hunter Biden and all that, right?
He said,
all right. Speaking of Hunter Biden, Aguna, excuse me, I'm going to present the screen. Aguna, speaking of Hunter Biden testified today. If you see the screen, this article written by thehill.com by Michael Schnell and Mike Lillis today at 6:23 p.m. I'm sorry, that went too fast. Hunter Biden was the star witness in the GOP's impeachment investigation into his father's appeared today on Capitol Hill, where Republicans spent a long day drilling into the details of overseas business ventures they portrayed as a web of corruption implicating President Biden. Yet if Republicans were hoping to dig up the elusive evidence of financial wrongdoing to back their allegations, they didn't seem to find it in this nearly 7 hours of closed-door questioning with the president's son.
I mean, Keith just mentioned the waste of money, right? So, I mean, again, gift that keeps on giving. And see, the fact because of the lawsuits versus waste of money because of what the Supreme Court is taking up that case. Because the danger of this is, okay, yeah, we're talking about Trump now, but so if Biden loses the election and decides to try to call up whoever in Michigan or Pennsylvania and say, find me 50,000 votes and do all these other things, he can do it under immunity. That's what you're telling me? I mean, again, we're going into very uncharted territory as a country where you have a very conservative Supreme Court literally passing or trying to pass laws, which is not their purview. The Supreme Court is designed to pass laws or to do that. They should be judging on the constitutionality of things. If they say that it's unconstitutional for a president or former president to be held accountable for an insurrection, then okay, it's game on then. And that's the danger, because at the end of the day, there are more Democrats in this country than there are Republicans.
Okay, so thank you.
That's why we can't sit here and talk about them versus
true.
us. Everybody,
okay, Cousin Todd.
Really
if you look at this, at the screen, Cousin Todd, it says instead a defiant Hunter Biden defended his various business dealings, amplified previous assertions that his father had no hand in those pursuits, and turned the inquiry back onto Republicans by invoking the foreign business ventures of Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of former President Trump, who secured a huge investment deal from Saudi Arabia shortly after leaving the White House. Cousin Todd.
The difference between Hunter Biden and Trump's son-in-law is Hunter Biden never worked for the White House. Trump's son-in-law did, yet he got $2 billion from the Saudis. And his daughter got 7 patents from China. The FBI, who is now being investigated for lying, that's what they were banking on. This, the FBI said so. His laptop, it's all on his laptop. And now it comes out that the FBI lied. And it's amazing how, I don't know when the FBI got corrupt, according to Stephen, They weren't corrupt
Always
in
has
the
been.
30s or 40s or 50s.
50s, yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. So anyway, you never heard Republicans, and they're all Republicans, mind you, talk about the FBI until they think they went after Donald Trump, which
Not
they did
true.
not go after Donald Trump. They liked Donald Trump.
You don't know.
So bottom line is, this Hunter Biden crap is all a waste of, as Keith said, taxpayer money, but he wouldn't put it on Joe Biden's son, the waste of money. Only going after Trump is a waste of money. And Trump is the one who caused an insurrection. And Trump was the one who
No, he
allegedly
didn't.
raped this woman. And Trump
No,
was
he
the one
didn't.
who allegedly called to find, all I need is, I forget how many thousands of votes. How can you call a government official and ask them after the election to find you a certain amount of votes? How is that possible? What does that mean in English? Find me. What, find him under your couch? Find me.
Oh, you know.
So it's
48 million Democrats are registered, 36 million Republicans.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you on that, Aguna. There are more.
So, Stephen,
That's not true.
Stephen, look
not
at the
as
screen here, Stephen.
Give me your source. Give me your information then.
Excuse me, Stephen, look at the screen here. And
not
what it
true.
says is,
It's not
Illinois, in a surprise move, this is breaking news, an Illinois judge has removed former President Donald Trump from the state's ballot based on the 14th Amendment so-called insurrectionist ban. The decision is paused, giving Trump a short period of time to appeal. Today's unexpected decision comes as a similar anti-Trump challenge from Colorado is pending before the U.S. Supreme Court, which is widely expected to reject arguments
A
that
judge
Trump
doesn't have that.
barred from office.
Judge doesn't have that authority. He doesn't have that authority. He
Stephen.
can't. A judge can't do that, Stephen.
I know that this is I've told y'all they went after Lincoln the same way. There were states that tried to keep him off the ballot because he was trying to stop slavery, and Donald Trump was to shut our border to stop slavery. But people on this show, they love slavery. There's slavery more of that now than it ever was, and it's coming through the United States, one of the most corrupt countries in the world when it comes to child porn, slavery, and all that stuff, all that good stuff. And that's what you vote for. That's what you're encouraging. We're going the other way. We want to shut the border. We want to get the laws of this country back. We want things to be better for everybody in this country. But y'all want us to y'all must hate this country so much that you want it destroyed and all of us to be just ants. You want us all to be ants and cockroaches because that's what we're going to be.
Yeah.
You want the borders wide open. You don't understand what's going on. There's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you if you don't understand. There's one man that's going against Republicans and Democrats and the CIA and the FBI and everybody else. If he can get in and get the right people around him, we can shut these people down. We can take over. It's we the people, y'all. Y'all got to be so good. I know you're smarter than that, but you're so bought. You're so bought and paid for, and I guess that's why you got so much money. You're like an athlete. You're like LeBron James.
About my money
you're
now.
so bought and paid for that you can't speak the truth. You cannot tell the truth.
Okay, thank you, Stephen.
You cannot tell the truth.
I'm going to share my screen. I'm with Aguna and
Democrats.
You cannot tell the truth. You're a bunch of liars.
Oh, I'm a liar. Yeah.
Stephen, that's it. Thank you.
He's talking.
Look it up.
Hey, y'all remember John Cougar Mellencamp?
That's because I asked him to talk. Aguna and the good Reverend Doctor. If you look at my screen, you see that Michigan primaries happened yesterday. This article was written February 28th, updated 3:03 a.m. by Joey Capoletti, by Associated APnews.com. And if I can just get this out of there, just want to get that screen out of there. Wait a minute, let me get this out of there. I'm trying to get that out of there. Okay. Joe Biden and Donald Trump easily won their party's primaries in Michigan, but Tuesday's results have showed that both candidates have cause for concern in their bid to win the swing state in November. An uncommitted vote in Michigan's Democratic primary was the first indication of how backlash over President Biden's handling of the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza might impact his re-election campaign. Trump won his primary by a large margin, but support for rival Nikki Haley once again showed that some Republican voters may have misgivings about giving the former president another 4 years in the general election. Let's start with Aguna and then go to the good Reverend Doctor about what the primary basically said.
Yeah, and this is interesting because, again, like I said, and what some people on the show can't accept because they have no reference, right? 48 million Democrats registered, 36 million Republican, right? And you look at a swing state like Michigan, where you have, well, Biden easily won it last time, right? Trump actually won it back in 2020, where there wasn't enthusiasm around the voting. 2016. But this is where you got to look at. There are certain issues that people try to send messages, but what do you think is going to happen if you would elect the other guy, right? So you got to look at these numbers seriously. But at the end of the day, these numbers will reflect. We're not looking at who's going to get out the vote. It's all going to come down to who's going to get out the vote in order to swing these states. And in Michigan, again, Michigan is a blue state. Pennsylvania is a blue state. Wisconsin is traditionally a blue state. But remember, in Michigan, when Trump beat Hillary, he beat her by 20,000 votes in the Detroit suburbs. So as those suburban voters go, there goes the state. Now, the sad thing about all this, and I'll close with this. If Nikki Haley is on the ballot, she would destroy Biden in a general election. This is the irony of what we're all talking about. Nikki Haley would beat Biden in a general election, but the Republicans are somehow steadfast on Trump because you got a lot of people, supposedly independent thinkers, that think that somehow Trump is this middle guy that's going to fight both sides. Yeah, right. He has one side he's going to be on. That's the side of money. So as much as you want to talk about somebody's pockets on this show, well, that's Trump. That's Trump's number one priority is money, period. And that doesn't mean he's going to give you money. That means he's going to make money for himself. And you have to get a scrum, a crap, or whatever, so be it.
Thank you. The good Reverend Doctor on the Michigan primary. Let me share my screen about what APnews.org said about the Michigan primary, that Michigan was the last major primary state before Super Tuesday. Both sides were watching closely for implications for the November general election, one of the few genuine swing states left in the country. The good Reverend Doctor, or the good Reverend, yeah, that's your name. I couldn't remember your name.
Yeah, I think we talked about this months ago that this would happen. So I think everybody here kind of expected this. The people of Dearborn, the people of Detroit, that Arab population in Michigan, this was them, sending a shot over the bow of Joe Biden, just letting them know, we will not support you if you continue to allow this to happen overseas to the Palestinians. So no surprise there. It's actually good politics. That's what you should do to politicians. If you feel like they're not doing what you want, then hold their feet to the fire. Similarly, in South Carolina, where you saw not only independents, but other people come out and continue to support Nikki Haley, because there's a faction in the Republican Party who believes either Trump is going to go to jail or be financially ruined to the point where he can't be a candidate. And they're still holding on to Nikki, feeling like, okay, if we have to come down to the last minute and this is who we have to run, let's give her a shot to win. So they're going to stay in until Super Tuesday. And her donors have not backed down. They're still sending her money.
Well, actually, the Koch brothers, they pulled out.
One of them, because the other one's dead, but she still has the other donors who are giving her money. Okay. But yes, she's still getting money from that crew. And if you want anything to know about them, the new movie, Martin Scorsese, Killers of the Flower Moon. Check that movie out. Really good movie, Oscar-nominated movie. It gets into the origins of the Koch brothers' fortune.
Okay, thank you. Cousin Todd, we just got word in terms of the government shutdown. If you look at thehill.com, congressional leaders strike a deal to avert a shutdown this week by Aris Foley at today at 5:11 p.m. Cousin Todd, they made the deal. Congressional leaders have struck a deal to avert a government shutdown this week, agreeing to punt a pair of funding deadlines later into March to buy more time for spending talks. I think they were going to talk about, or wasn't there a point, Cousin Todd, where the continuing resolution was going to be banned so they couldn't continue to kick the can down the road?
Well, that's what the radical Republicans wanted, but I don't know if the speaker is going to lose his job because of this, but they had to get something done, and I knew they were just going to move it a little bit down the road, and they're going to do this up until the election, of course. And the Republicans get blamed for this because just like they would not sign the deal that they made, they came up with all of these about the border, all these stipulations and agreements, like, for example, they would only allow 5,000 immigrants in the United States, and then they would shut the border off. That was a Republican plan, and Biden went along with it because Biden is a middle ground Democrat. He's not radical by any stretch of the imagination. So he's really, he teeters on the border of being a Republican. But he has always been that way. This is not new. This is why when he was running for president, the more extreme people, and I don't even like to use that word extreme, said he's not good for America because he's too Republican leaning.
Yeah.
This is before you were hypnotized by Trump, dum dum.
Nobody's ever said this about him.
You
I guess Obama was pretty Republican too. What are you talking about?
Again, when we talk about facts, Stephen just
this is not a fact. Yo, this is a land of make believe. You should be riding a unicorn, Todd, while you're spouting this garbage.
Is facts.
You should be riding on a unicorn.
Facts and then black people.
Hold on tight, Todd, on your unicorn.
Say that 7 or 8
facts and
times.
knowledge are the two things Stephen's scared of.
Just to clarify what Cousin Todd just said, during the primary, they had Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders as the opponents for Joe Biden. And they were running pretty good until South Carolina. And the argument was Biden was too much of a centrist. The young folks were going to go with the two more progressive candidates. And this was a big fight between the Dem establishment.
Oh, you're going back to when he was going against the communists. Then when he was going against communists, then he seemed to be a little more middle of the road, didn't he?
Hey, man.
Oh, well, of course. Yeah, I can understand that. All right, I see what you're saying, Todd, because that's a different situation than real life. Oh, he was going against the biggest communist who's ever.
It's almost
be a moderator.
Come on, man. Like, the idea that Elizabeth Warren is a communist lets you know you just don't have the range.
I was talking about the other guy.
You really don't.
I wasn't talking about Elizabeth Warren. I was talking about the other guy.
You said yes.
If you think Bernie Sanders, who owns
Bernie
5
Sanders,
homes and has 3 book
Bernie
deals,
Sanders,
was a
Karl Marx.
communist.
I don't think she's that far from Bernie.
Okay,
Yeah,
Stephen, you have to let him finish. You just can't jump in.
All right.
Your opinion is irrelevant on this issue. You don't have enough information to speak.
I did.
Cousin Todd finish. Thank you, Cousin Todd, for bringing the point home and actually explaining to the viewers and listeners how these things work. He was born yesterday, I guess. He don't remember this. This was only, 6 years ago?
6 years ago. It's a big part of my life.
Talk about the busing issue. I mean, it's like, Trump even used some of his talking points when he taught the black voters.
But he's just Aguna's just jumping in, Stacey. You didn't say a word.
Okay, Aguna, you can't just jump in.
My bad for saying.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me make sure. I gotta get. Hey, referee.
No, excuse me.
He's doing it too. You're gonna tell on me.
Can we hear from Cousin
It's
Todd
never a
real
fair
quick?
shake, man. It's always BS.
No, unfortunately, you can't because I'm through with this. I don't belong here. Remember on Keith and Stephen will love this. Remember on The View, Star Jones, she said to Barbara Walters out of the blue, the show is going in a different direction, and I won't be back.
Who's going to help us get through sports?
Who's going to wear the ascot?
What is the show going left or right, Todd? Which way? Which
He
way?
don't know.
You're speaking, which means the show is getting stupid.
All right. Anyway, let me move on.
Oh,
Speaking
okay.
of Congress, Mitch McConnell, Keith, do you want to talk about Associated Press, AP News reports that Mitch McConnell will step down as the Senate Republican leader in November after a record run in the job by Michael Tackett today, 3:32 p.m. Mitch McConnell, the longest. They have him as the longest serving senator leader in history who maintained his power in the face of dramatic convulsions in the Republican Party for almost 2 decades, will step down from that position in November. He turned 82 last week and announced his decision today in the well of the Senate, the chamber where he looked in awe from its back benches in 1985 when he arrived, and where he grew increasingly comfortable in the front row seat afforded by the party leaders. Keith.
Well, I watched his announcement, and he also said he's not going anywhere. So basically, he's just stepping down from power, from the leadership position. So I'm glad he's doing that. I have no confidence in him at all. But
yeah, let me guess, he's a rhino.
Hey, he's just going to sit down. That's cool. But he'll still be in the power. They love power too much. And that's on both sides of the aisle, left or right.
Stephen, on Mitch McConnell. Let me show. You just comment. That's okay. Go ahead.
I think McConnell is a little bit corrupt, with his wife and everything in China, and he's a big part of the corruption. But I also believe that during his time that he's been there, he's also has done a lot of good things. He did a lot of good things when Trump was president. He's made sure things got done the way they were supposed to get done. But I do think he's a little bit compromised because you have these companies, you have these people, you just don't know what you really have. Because like the guy, what was that guy? What was his name? Schmeinel or whatever. And he was dating this Russian, no, not Russian, Chinese spy for a long time. These people, you just don't know what you get. So I can't remember his name. It's a horrible name. Shamil.
The name is you said he was dating her, Stormy Daniels.
No, I can't remember his name. But this is what I'm saying, that you don't really know with McConnell what you got with his wife that is so deep with Chinese companies, and she's Chinese woman. I don't know. They are our enemies. Don't let them believe. Don't believe it's Russia or anybody else. Our enemy is China.
You hear how he tried to say that quickly? Well, she is Chinese.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but he did do some good things, and but we need some new blood in there. We need somebody new.
Okay, Cousin Todd, then Aguna, then the good Reverend on Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell has been ailing and doing this blank thing.
Yeah,
and so it was time that he stepped down. But when Stephen says you can't trust him because with sketchy people. And when you are running government and you're sleeping with porn stars and paying them, it's just not good.
But he wasn't president then.
Oh, I thought, okay. So then that makes it okay for him to take campaign funds to pay.
But she could have just lied. She's a woman, Todd. She could have just lied about it for money.
Everybody can change.
He already got paid.
She needs to point to that doll and show where Donald Trump hurt her.
81 years old.
Mitch McConnell.
81 years old. I mean, think about that. Look at Trump. Look at Joe Biden. Look how old these guys are that are trying to run the country, right? So it's one of those things where, there's going to come a reckoning in this country where sooner or later, it will probably be in 2028 when both, no matter what this playing field looks like, is going to be pretty different and pretty much different in political climate, no matter who makes the presidency. But Mitch McConnell is one of those guys where, it's funny how a lot of people turn on. And that's the scary thing about the Republican Party now. It's like they're just cannibalizing everyone. Anytime that Keith comes on the show and says Mike Pence is a liberal and Mitch McConnell needs to step down, even though he's responsible, the one man responsible for changing the Supreme Court for our lifetime. We will never have a non-conservative court in our lifetime. And that's for the next 30 years. You know,
I said he did some good things.
Unless Biden wins and expands the court.
Which, you know, it's going to take a lot. It can happen, but at the end of the day, that's not in the card so far. So
hopefully he doesn't do that.
Has done, I agree, has done some good things, but he's also done some dang on shady things. And well, I think it's part of
that's what I was saying.
Part of the part of the climate.
Why do you keep saying?
Okay, thank you. The good Reverend Doctor.
Yeah, I mean, everything I was going to say, Aguna kind of already stepped in and said it. But yeah, he's a political enemy of most Americans, one of the greatest politicians to ever live. There's going to be books and memoirs written about McConnell in a way that some people are going to be surprised by because of how effective he was and how good he was at getting the Republican goals accomplished. But as a person, he's terrible. The things he's done in Kentucky are deplorable. The things he's done to the people there are deplorable. But this is who he is, man. He's a megastar politician. And, you know, sadly, he's going to go out in embarrassing fashion because we saw him kind of deteriorate before our eyes. But that is a real well-accomplished dude. And the accomplishments are evil, but you can't say he didn't do them.
Thank you.
And I'll add to that he got a lot done crookedly. Just like when wouldn't allow Obama to pick his Supreme Court nominee and said he would not, we're not in an election year, we're not going to, it was a year left, we're not going to nominate any Supreme Court justice, and then turned around and did it. But things like this he's done throughout his career, which is brilliant, crooked, but brilliant, and he's got a lot accomplished. But I don't think he's going to go out in an embarrassing way because of his health. I think it's Trump that's going to be his thorn in the side because he kept flip-flopping. First, he should have voted to have Trump impeached.
Okay,
and then his reputation would have been better. Like it's a step too far. But for him to say, let the courts deal with him, it was a cop-out and a punk move.
Thank you. Keith, looking at this article, you sent this to me, not this article, but you sent this story to me talking about schools in Washington State, that is, are required to recite the Pledge of Allegiance daily. A new bill would make sure students actually understand what it means to recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Keith.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I don't know if it'll pass, but, you know, that would be great if it did. I wish we had that in California, that rule. But, you know, it's very important that we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I would love to say we should say the Pledge of Allegiance before the show. But, you know, I think some people on this show may be offended by it, but I don't care. The Pledge of Allegiance is like an oath. It's like me as a citizen pledging my duty as a citizen of the United States to the Constitution. And I would defend and protect it just as much as anybody else should.
So then why didn't you go into the military?
When they added under God, it didn't start out under God. It started out in, you know, when it was first penned back in the 1800s, it started out as
back when you were a slave.
No, they took out under God.
He wasn't alive. He's not that old.
One nation, undivided, indivisible.
Under a groove.
So we were undivided. We were indivisible, undivided. Now we're so divided that even if we start saying it, that would bring back the division. That would bring back the unity. So we need to say that. The kids need to say it and understand what the purpose of it. Did you get those points that I made, Stacy? I sent to you.
Did you want to? Yes, I did.
Yeah, let me do that real quick. I won't take long. I promise to.
All right, hurry up. You got.
Okay.
They should learn about the Constitution
Just put it up.
and about the Pledge of Allegiance, but they should not learn about Black history.
All right,
It might
I'm
be
sorry.
offensive to
Go
them.
ahead, Cousin Todd. I don't have them. I'll be trying to put them up while Cousin Todd is talking. I'm sorry.
All right, four times in the Declaration of Independence, 4 times God is mentioned, and about 3 times he's mentioned in the Constitution. Go ahead.
So what? What difference does
Cousin
that
Todd,
make?
Well, what
go
that
ahead.
means is that there is no separation of church and state intended by the
Ma'am.
founders, and
Oh,
that we
gosh.
can say the Pledge of Allegiance, one nation under God. We are a
Okay,
nation
Cousin
under
Todd,
of
go
nature.
ahead, please.
I
we
was
should have
just
a pope.
going to say what
We have a
I was
Supreme
saying
Court.
about how he thinks we should learn about the Pledge of Allegiance and what it stands for, but he doesn't think we should learn about people that look like him and his mother. That should be banned.
Unless it's Aunt Jemima.
And so saying the Pledge of Allegiance is fine if you want to. It should not be mandatory. And some people don't pledge their allegiance to the master. Some people pledge their allegiance to their homeland, right, Stephen? Where is your homeland, Stephen?
It's in Africa.
Yeah, you people went over there and stole that too. But
No, we didn't. That's the Chinese right now. The Chinese still in Africa right now.
But these invaders don't have to pledge allegiance to the. And Stephen is one of the invaders because, as I tell him weekly, America did not look like this when you came and stole it.
God.
So
I didn't look like this because it wasn't me.
People came here and stole the country, and this is why you call these people invaders. The invaders are coming. No,
We're
are
not
the
pledging
invaders.
allegiance to man. We're pledging allegiance.
You are the invaders.
Thank you, Cousin Todd. We're out of time. You didn't get a chance. Aguna and the good
Hey, wait a minute. Can I say something about the pledge real quick?
No, you can say something about
just really quick.
No,
I don't think kids should be made to say that. I don't think kids should be made to say the pledge. I think if you want to hang it up in the classroom, whatever, but don't make kids say it every day. To me, it's almost like drilling in their heads, like some Nazi Germany, something like that. We got to say this. No, you don't have pledge to a flag. What if that flag turns out to be bad? What if that flag turns out to be a Nazi flag? Or a flag that you don't agree with? Who knows who's going to take over the country? So no, you don't have to pledge an allegiance to a flag. You're a United States citizen. You don't have to take a pledge to anything but God, not to a flag, not to a piece of cotton.
Okay, thank you.
That's my 2 cents.
And then the good Reverend Doctor.
Talking about
and then the good Reverend Doctor. This is our round table, and we're almost out of time. The good Reverend Doctor and Aguna. Aguna first.
Yeah. Look, again, I don't even know why, a lot of so-called conservatives make this a thing, as if you're trying to out patriot somebody by forcing them to be patriotic in your mind. At the end of the day, we're all Americans. We have difference of opinions. We all can vote. That's why, Stephen, you keep talking about this side, that side. Look, it's not a sporting event. We're all Americans. We have there's certain things that I'm passionate about from a fiscal constitution standpoint or fiscal conservative standpoint. Certain things I'm passionate about from a social standpoint.
Me
doesn't
too.
make it a different side. It just makes a different perspective. That's why certain parties go certain ways. Certain parties go certain ways. I look at the collective of the whole. If there are 9 things I agree with and the one thing I don't agree with, I'm not going to just vote against the one thing I don't agree with. So that's how it's working. All right. But
what if you just hate one person? What if
it's not about. So if you're referring,
we're out of time.
At the end of the day, I don't think you should indoctrinate kids. I do think there should be education. You should allow them to learn about why it's important to be America by letting them learn about Black history, by letting them learn about white history,
and all history, all of our history.
At the end of the day, that's why education is important, so you can have difference of perspectives to make the country worthy of being pledged allegiance to. What do you think these kids are learning? They're learning how to solve problems we don't know are problems yet. So at the end of the day, give them liberty to do that. And if they want to pledge, they can pledge. If they don't, that's not going to shame anybody. You're still an American.
Thank you. The good Reverend Doctor.
Yeah, this is unconstitutional. It's going to be thrown out. This is not going to be applied. This is typically what authoritarian dictatorships do. They try to They try to force people to repeat mantras and force them to take pledges that really have no meaning in life, and you're actually chipping away at people's liberty. And the fact that the new conservatives who are going after women's reproductive rights, who are going after the educational system, why wouldn't they do something like this to where they try to make people make a pledge? So yeah, this is no surprise. I'm not shocked. Stephen, why?
Hey, that's when a pope was a pope.
Yeah, you're a sick person.
Thank you.
No, I like this pope. I'm not
me.
crazy about the pope we have now.
Thank you. Thank you. I pledge
You're not even
allegiance to the
Catholic,
flag of the
Okay.
United States of America and to
to
the republic for which it stands,
Hey,
one
hey,
nation,
One nation,
Right.
under God,
indivisible,
Right.
indivisible,
I'm not
with
participating in
liberty
this
and
nonsense.
justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Woo!
Flag. Where's your flag? Which direction is the flag? Keith, you have the Constitution and no flag.
To our first responders in our communities, you make our lives very livable. We're grateful for you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to our women and men of the U.S. military for all that you do in sacrificing your lives so that we are free to say whatever we choose to do. So we are forever indebted. On behalf of Aguna, the Nigerian moderate Republican, Stephen, the independent thinker, Keith, the constitutional conservative, the good Reverend Doctor, thank you for calling and joining us. And last but definitely not least,
Struck a pose.
my cousin Todd.
Work the runway. Work that camera, Todd. Work it. Work that camera, Todd.
I'm Stacey Johnson. Let's keep this conversation going on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry, X, TikTok, and Stephanie Stahl's The Flow Television Network.
And for Keith and Stephen, the Black Web. The dark web, sorry. The Black History Month, so I'll call it the Black Web.
Yeah, we go on the black web, me and Keith.
That's right. With the flag. Don't hurt yourself with it, Keith.
All right. Whew.
He had one right beside him.
Yep.
I'm proud of you.
He went and wrapped it. Just like Donald Trump went and kissed the flag. Remember that? He grabbed it, he hugged it, he kissed it. You know,
He gave a big hug, man. I've never seen anybody give a flag a hug before.
You know he sells bobbleheads of that moment, right?
Oh, speaking of which, Todd, didn't you want to talk about how you were going to buy those Trump sneaks? Todd, Todd said he's going to buy those Trump sneaks.
They're sold out.
It'd probably be worth some money. You really, that's a good investment.
What about those Trump sneaks you said you were going to buy?
I just want for the record that Steven said sneakers were an investment. I just want us to understand the kind of mind we're dealing with here.
Oh, yeah. Sneakers can be an investment. You know that, right?
I never said I was going to buy those sneakers. What I said was they are a knockoff of Gucci sneakers. And they're also a knockoff of Louboutins with the red bottom.
Well, they didn't have a lot of time to get it out. You know, they had to rock and roll.
They just had to copy. That's all.
Yeah, when you're grifting, you don't care.
That's the beauty of capitalism.
That's what everybody does.
No, that's actually not the beauty
That's the beauty of
That's called
capitalism.
infringing on people's
Because
intellectual
Trump,
property.
after
That's
they
the
extorted
opposite.
all that money from Trump, he'll make more money. He'll always be
Are
able
those
to
the sneakers, cousin Todd?
Yeah, those are the sneakers. And
I thought they were $400.
They are.
They're only two?
There's some knockoffs.
Oh, they're knockoffs?
I should, you can get some knockoff Trump sneakers too.
Wouldn't that be
That's
nice
a
if one of the
pre-order.
basketball players wore them? One of the basketball players?
Man, if I wore them at the gym, I'd be king of the gym.
Basketball players could wear them.
That sneaker though, man. Come on.
It's the worst. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's the worst tennis shoe I've ever seen. In my
I'm gonna
life.
rock the Trump sneakers with my Trump tie, my Trump shirt. And the bad part about I used to love Trump ties. Trump ties used to be the bomb. You know, they used to be the bomb, but then again, they kind of went out of style because no one wears those type of ties. Hardly anybody wears ties at all anymore. But
no, then the ties need to come back. We had a more gentleman type of a world when we had ties. We need to bring the
we're gonna
ties
wear
back.
wigs too. We're gonna have wigs on too. Yeah,
Wigs.
yeah, just like back in the day, you have a wig.
Powder wig. The
By
funny
the
thing about
way-
it is like LeVar Ball sneakers. The date on when the Trump sneakers will ship.
All
And you
right.
let me know if you think these people are still getting those shoes.
All right. Well, he made a good.
They're not shipping until after the election.
He made a
And-
good
Correct.
point of 'em. And
Y'all
that's the
remember
main
LeVar
thing.
Ball, Big Baller Brand? Where he had
That'll
the
help
people
pay his
pre-order
legal
those shoes?
his legal fees. So it'll
He
help
got
pay
legal
his legal.
fees bigger than sneaker change. That ain't gonna get it.
Well, he's still making some good
He
bucks.
said they're sold out.
Yeah.
He only made
Yeah.
like 4,000 of them, right?
Exactly.
He made,
They're gonna have to go to a cheaper country to get more made.
There
I
you
bet
go.
they're gonna go to China. I bet
Yeah,
they're
they got to
gonna to
might have to
China.
go to somewhere cheaper than China.
So they're gonna be made in
we
China.
could go by
And
Trump's reputation.
Yeah, I don't think anything's cheaper than China. You can't get any cheaper labor than China. I don't
You
think.
Hey guys, I found
We got a
I
whole
looked
supply
up
chain that's worse.
how many people have been on a cereal box, Wheaties. You had Jackie Robinson,
hey, man,
Muhammad
hey,
Ali,
Nobody
Serena
cares who's
Williams, LeBron James. All these people were on Wheaties, and so
Yeah,
they ought to be
slaves.
taken
Wheaties
off
for
Any
achievement,
slave,
because
you
of what
idiot.
Aguna said.
any slave,
Well, they're slaves.
Who?
Yeah,
To the
millionaire
Wheaties
slaves
box
too.
for
They're
achievement, not
slaves to the
because
elite.
they were a damn trope, you
Ain't
idiot.
that right, Stephen? They're
Bruce
slaves.
Jenner's
Yeah,
a
never
slave.
mind the achievements. Never mind the achievements. He's gonna overlook that. They were just
Yeah,
black
they're
people on a box.
slaves to the
They
elite.
were black people on a box. God damn it. Those black people
They're
on a
Oh,
box, they need
slaves
to
to
be
the
on that
elite.
box.
They're
Cousin
slaves.
Ty, imagine
Let's
all
talk
the
about any
computing
black person on
power
a box.
and all of the
You a
information of
black
the
person
world
on a
at
box.
your fingertips, and you spend it looking up who was on the Wheaties box that was black.
Yeah.
Imagine being that
Well,
dumb.
it shows.
Can you
it shows
ask
what
Chat
we've gone.
GPT?
Y'all have a good night.
We need
I-
to
I-
ask
Shows
Chat
how far we've
GPT.
come.
Tell me who's
So,
black has
that's
been on a
something they
box.
don't understand, Stephen.
Who's black
It
been on a
shows how
cereal
far
box?
we've come. We have come from slaves being on a cereal
Oh,
box to super athletes making a lot of
right.
money. Black. Yeah.
You know,
What do you
I
think?
get that.
goodness.
That's a good point, Keith. I get
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's a good
I know
point.
you do. They don't get it. They'll never get
How
it.
many black people have been on a cereal box?
I just named them.
No, ask Chat GPT.
I just named a couple or a few.
No, he asked the AI people. He said he was not asking you. He was asking
Oh.
someone else.
Oh,
I'm asking the Chat GPT.
He
This
didn't
is
know
this
what
is
Chat,
gonna take
he
your
didn't know
job,
what Chat
Keith.
GPT is.
Yeah. Oh man. It's still
Yeah,
talking.
you know, that's another thing that's gonna ruin this country and
what did
world.
Siri say?
Chat GPT.
It's all
Yeah,
part of
man.
it, man.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you don't know AI and you're not doing AI, and you know how to engineer, you're gonna
Well,
be.
It's not going to last long of what you know because AI is going to surpass you and you're going to be left in the dust like everybody else. It's just a matter of degrees. Maybe you're just a little bit ahead of somebody else, but it don't matter because
maybe.
AI is going to keep multiplying.
Programming.
You can't
Maybe
stop it.
it's
Once
learning
you
itself.
got to, what we need to do is stop AI. If we can just
Why?
just cancel it because it's going to go out of control and it's going to be the death of us all.
Isn't that what
That's what
what
they
the
said
girl
about
was
whale
saying?
oil.
Isn't that what Elizabeth Warren was saying? She wants to stop AI.
I don't know. I mean,
But you need to use it and you need to use it responsibly. Now I'm not sitting here. You're gonna sit here. You're worried about the movie Creation where the AI determined that man is bad for the world and they
that could happen.
Man.
If
What does that say about man then? You just need to shape up.
It may be true. Maybe this is what we have to go through. You know, this will be like in Revelation. The end of our time is because the machines take us out. I don't know.
I mean, it
All
could
right, well,
happen,
that's
but at the end of the
speculation.
day, you're gonna
I
have
don't
to
think we should
you're
talk
gonna have to
about
learn
that
AI.
speculation.
But I think it could be a better world without AI. We've
You
lived this
use
long
AI
without AI.
now. You using it now.
I understand that, but we got to keep
what
it.
are you
We
gonna
got to
stop?
keep it. We got to keep it like this, not let it go through the roof.
What does that mean though?
the possibilities of the reproduction and becoming its own thing and thinking for itself and becoming all powerful is something we won't be able to
So,
stop.
Stephen, you're gonna wake up one day. You're gonna wake up one day and say, you're gonna say just like this. You know, I want to. What's on my steak for the day? I got to go to. I'll book a You're gonna say it just like this. Book a restaurant. I want to go on a vacation next week. Find me the cheapest tickets.
Right, it's all going to be in your head.
I need to make a reservation at my. You're just gonna have to speak it into the universe, and AI's going to take all that and plan it for you, and all of a sudden it's going to do everything for you.
But Elon Musk has got a thing that's going to be in your head. Elon Musk is already doing experiments on humans that's in your head that he put us in the head.
You're missing my point. You're missing my point. You're just going to be able to say now when you use Alexa, do you Google things? How do you get information?
No, what I'm saying is when you have that chip, you just think about it and anything you want is going to happen. No, Elon Musk has done it. Elon Musk has put chips in people's heads now. They've already done it.
Look, man, I'm not going.
They have volunteers.
There are some limitations, but I'm not going to sit here and say let's not do AI when it's all around us already. I mean,
it's all around us already, but right now it's in the infant stage. It's in the infant stage.
But the thing is, you can't stop it. You're not going to be able to stop it.
I know. I'm just saying it would be nice if we could be able to stop it.
You can't. No, you don't. Yeah, I don't think.
Or just put a box. Just put a top on the box right now until we get a better grip on it.
So when you go to your car, cars in a couple of years, they're going to be off your voice command or your thumbprint. You're going to say start. You're going to yell out, "Start my car," and it's going to take it over, and your car is going to start in the driveway because it's connected, right?
Well, you can do that now with a button.
And you're going to say, no, you can just speak on it, and then you're going to say, you know what? I play my favorite radio station. So what time I get in my car, and by the way, the car is going to drive itself to wherever you're going.
But you don't want that. But you don't want that.
You don't want that? No more car accidents?
No, because you don't have any autonomy. You're not an individual anymore. You don't have the freedom of being in your car. Whenever they want that car to go where they want it, they can redirect it to go right to the prison, right underneath where the parking is, and they lock the doors and you can't get out.
They have it so that cars will repossess themselves. So if you don't make your car payment, they'll drive back to the dealer.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They have that too, but I'm saying they also have where if they want you because you don't agree with them politically or whatever the reason is, then they can get you in your car and take you wherever they want.
But they can do that anyway. They can shut down your bank accounts. They can do all kind of stuff to you if they don't like you politically now. I mean, you're not going to stop it. That enemy of the state was just the beginning with Will Smith. That was just the beginning.
Yeah, it's just like the horse is out of the barn. You can't stop it. There's no way to the lid. Everything's boiling out of the pot. Even if you put the lid on, shit's gonna still be flying out. I know, man. Now, I'm just always looking for a little bit of a solution.
What you can do, what I'm thinking about doing, and you're gonna laugh, is I'm gonna go back to Nigeria. I take my money as long as I can hire a security force and and surround myself with some people until I go senile and into the,
That was always my thought, was always on your mind. If shit gets so bad in this country, you go back to Nigeria. No, that's always been. I've always known that. That's your out.
I'll go back to Nigeria and become a dictator, man.
But that's your out. But you see, I don't have that out. But I knew you had that out. That's why I fight so hard for this country, because I don't have Nigeria. That's why I fight so hard for this country as it stands, because I don't have Nigeria.
You can go to Uzbekistan. You can go to any Eastern Bloc country and live like a king.
I'm gonna tell you what. You
have 1,000 wives.
If I don't want another, I've had 2 wives. I don't want any more wives.
No, you're a young guy. You can move to. You can move to Estonia before the Russians come around. Or I wouldn't necessarily move to Russia, but you can Yugoslavia. Chechnya, not Chechnya, but
Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, I mean, those are countries.
Yeah, I could do something like Czechoslovakia, maybe. They're pretty cool. I don't know. I don't know about Russia. Russia kind of scares me a little bit.
What's the name? Tucker Carlson went over there. Now people are going to want to move to Russia. Tucker Carlson said they got great grocery stores.
Yeah, he made it look good. I don't know why he did. There's something about it. There's something bigger than what we see because, of course, they just showed him what they wanted to show him. And, you know, that's any country. You go to China, they're going to show you the best restaurants and the best everything, you know?
They're the ministers of misinformation.
Hey, we did the same thing. When China came to San Francisco, we cleaned it all up, got all the turds and all the turd people, got everybody out of there. And cleaned it up and made it look good.
There's still, there's a.
Every country does that.
All right,
but
man.
Why would Tucker say that? Why would Tucker be like, "Whoa, look at this grocery store! I'm getting my eggs so cheap, they're paying me to take them out of here."
Well, because there's an agenda there. He's making money. It's all about money. It's not about black, white, red, green, whatever. It's left, right.
It's about green. But doesn't he have money?
Don't you guys know you're broadcasting live?
Yeah,
Are we doing what? She said what?
Broadcasting live.
Oh, sorry.
Well, they can. No. Well, let's our viewers see there's a human element to our craziness on the show. We can still break bread. We could be united in racism, fascism. No, not fascism.
Yeah, we all want the same thing. We all want a peace for our family and a prosperity. That we all want the same thing. We're just fighting about how to come to it sometimes, I guess.
That's right. We all want Aunt Jemima on the box. We want Aunt Jemima back on the box.
Yes, on the back and the front. But did you get my joke? That's when a pope was a pope. You remember that John Cougar Mellencamp song?
No, I did not get your joke, but I understand. Man, popes were some of the most corrupt people.
Yeah, but this was a pretty decent pope compared to the pope we have now, is what I was saying. I don't like the pope we have now. I think he's kind of weird. Even though I'm not Catholic, I got a lot of Catholic friends.
I've only seen the Pope once in my lifetime. And I think
this one or John?
No, this John Paul II was the Pope.
Yeah, that's what I'm showing you. You saw him in person? Yeah.
Yeah, he came to my church. He came and gave mass at my church. He came to but they wouldn't let us in there though. It was like, because it was crazy it was back in the 80s. So he came out, he came in his little Pope mobile, and he came and he went down the street. He went to USC. University of South Carolina for some type of ceremony, but they were out. There were a lot of. There were some people that in the crowd that were not friendly with the Pope. That's South Carolina, so there's a lot of Southern Baptists and folks.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I got friends that moved to South Carolina, and they're Catholic. They say, "Oh, we're getting a lot of heat being here. We didn't know we were running into this."
Yeah, Catholicism wasn't very. Because they think that the Pope is, the dictator. All right. Yeah. So we're getting off here. All right.
Hey, y'all have a great night. Nice talking.
All right. Nice catching up. Y'all take care. Good night, listeners.
Take care. All right. Peace and love.